All right, in this video, we're going to talk about an important topic that a lot of people aren't talking about and I feel like needs to be addressed. We're going to tell you how to deal with depression. Depression is an issue that's near and dear to me. My father actually committed suicide when I was in my early 20s, and I know he had some undiagnosed depression, and that contributed to him taking that course of action. And I've dealt with it many times in my life as well. I think it might actually be like a hereditary thing, or maybe it's a learned thing. I don't know. Maybe I got it from being around him. You become like the people you're around. But I found some ways to cope with it, and I want to share those with you. All right. So the first time I experienced like serious depression, I was in high school. I got sent away to military school. Those of you guys know I'm from the south side of Chicago. It's a very, very difficult environment to grow up in, like gangs and violence. And I saw dead bodies on my way to school more than once, gang members, stuff like that. I was always felt like I was in danger. And much like Superman's parents, my parents decided to send me away, from the wasteland. They sent me away from Chicago, much like Superman's parents sent him away from Krypton, and they sent me to military school. And they sent me there because I got in a lot of trouble, but more so they want to do like Superman's parents and get them out of a bad environment that wasn't going to serve him going forward. So when I arrived at military school, I don't fit in. I feel like an outcast because I'm there on some sort of weird scholarship. I'm the only poor kid there and I'm the only black kid there. And that comes with its own unique set of challenges. Kids made fun of me, beat me up, I got picked on. And I don't even say they made like racist jokes. And I don't even think they were racist kids. I think just kids are just jerks. Sometimes, kids are just mean. A lot of times they don't think or they don't understand the ramifications of their actions. And they were just being kids, right? But I would get into fights. And a lot of those times I got beat up and I was just sad, man. Like I remember just being depressed. And I remember not caring if I lived or died, right? And I know there's someone out here who this resonates with because I get so many messages on Snapchat from kids telling me that they're depressed and they want to kill themselves and life is just difficult for them and they don't want to go on. They don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm going to give you guys some tips to cope with that. But I also want to tell everyone listening that, things get better, man. When you're a kid, you don't have a lot of reference experience, so you haven't been through a lot. But once you start going through things in life, you notice that, life, there's ups and downs in life, and that's just kind of the way life is. It's just kind of the way it is, ups and downs. But the first time you experience the real downs, it can just seem worse than it is because you have nothing to compare it to. I just want to let you kids know listening that things will get better and can get better. But anyway, I just didn't care if I lived or died. I wasn't suicidal, but I wasn't like thrilled about life. I was very depressed. And once I got beat up kind of bad, by some kids, and I decided I'm gonna start lifting weights, man. I want to defend myself. I don't want this to happen anymore. And I started working out in school, and I wasn't making a lot of progress, but I immediately started to feel better about myself because I felt like I was working towards something, right? I had set a goal, and I started, I started feeling better about myself, but I wasn't making a lot of progress because I didn't know what I was doing. The internet wasn't sophisticated as it is now. I'm 35. This was in the 90s. So, I had to read books and stuff like that. Books are probably better than, a lot of these jokers on YouTube, giving you weird advice. But I had to read books to get the information. And so I was making some progress, but, just trying to figure it out. Then I went home to Chicago and for the summer. And when a friend of the family, he's named Aaron Muhammad. He was voted #1 trainer in Chicago. He's actually Steve Harvey's trainer now. So he kind of, my parents told him that what I was going through, and I was trying to like work on like building myself up, and he let me work out with him, throughout the summer, and he gave me a lot of advice on training and diet, and I made some significant progress. I guess you guys would call them noob gains over the summer. And then when I went back to school, I was like, man, I wish one of these motherfuckers would fuck with me now. And funny thing happened, when I got there, the kids didn't mess with me. And it wasn't because I got so big, because I didn't get crazy big over a summer. I didn't gain like 20 pounds or anything. It's just, what really happened was I just started to feel better about myself. I felt confident about myself. And that's tip number one, is actually set goals. Like, just set goals. And when you set big goals and you're really going after them, what happens is you have to, especially with fitness, you have to make all these little promises to yourself every day. You got to say, hey, I'm going to eat right today. I'm going to work out today. I'm going to get enough sleep, and you drink enough water. All these little promises you have to make to yourself. And then once you start keeping the promises you make to yourself, it builds something called confidence, right? Another definition of confidence in the dictionary is called firm trust. If you look it up in the dictionary or Google it, that's one of the definitions. And yeah, if you make promises to yourself, you trust yourself. And you can see how that works. If someone keeps saying they're going to do something for you and they don't do it, do you trust them? Do you have much confidence in them? No. So confidence comes from like keeping these promises to yourself is one way to build confidence. And then you just start to believe in yourself more. And I think that's what they sensed. And that's why they stopped fucking with me. Because predators look for prey. And after like months of actually like building up my confidence, even more so than my body, I wasn't positioning myself as prey any longer, and the kids stopped messing with me. And then funny thing happened, those kids started asking me for advice, right? I actually befriended these kids and I started helping them in the gym, started training them. And that's step number two. Maybe take the focus off yourself and what you're going through, and maybe start trying to like help other people with something. Right, when I actually felt good training those kids, helping them accomplish their goals, build up their body. I saw the success that they were getting, not only physically, but their personalities were changing too. They stopped picking on kids so much. Why? Because why does someone do that? Because hurt people, right? The people who leave comments on YouTube talking trash, do you think those are happy, successful, confident people? Do you think that Jay-Z makes $1 million deal, then does a concert, a sold out concert, goes home, has sex with Beyonce, and then thinks, man, tonight would just be complete if I can leave a hate video on Cali Muscles, if I can leave a hate comment on Cali Muscles video? Nah, man, happy, successful, confident people don't behave like that. So I just noticed the change in them as well. They started feeling better about themselves, and it made me feel better about myself, actually helping them. All right, I went through another depression period in my early 20s. Things were just going wrong. My life just wasn't turning out the way I expected it to. I got signed to a record label, which was something I've been working on my whole life. I play guitar, keyboard, drums. I got signed as a rapper and producer to Sony Records, and I got dropped. And then it was a bad economy, so I couldn't get a job. And I had already moved to New York, and I wasn't making my way. I wasn't able to find my way. And I was just depressed, man. And I remember having like suicidal thoughts, man. I don't know if that's normal. I think that's something that I probably picked up hereditary from my father, honestly, And I started doing some volunteering. There's an organization called New York Cares, and I did some volunteering, helping kids work out. And I just started to feel better, man. Just helping other people. When you put the focus on other people, you start to feel better about yourself, And I don't know if this is good or bad. You can take this however you want. But when you see people who have it like worse than you, the actual contrast is like, man, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe the stuff I'm complaining about is, maybe I'm kind of a pussy, right? Like complaining about the stuff I'm complaining about when I see these kids who come from broken homes, parents in jail, or some of these kids, man, had it real bad, stuff I don't even want to say on camera, and they were still able to continue. I felt like a punk for like, oh, I don't have a record deal anymore, or I don't make as much money as I wanted to. Like, I just seeing the contrast, I don't know. It helped, but actually helping them helps you feel better about yourself. Oh, and side note, having that said, with my company, Bro Laboratories, we're going to donate 10% of everything we make, all the profits we make of all our supplements, all my training programs, my new coaching program, everything we sell, the apparel, everything. We're going to donate 10% of everything, all our profits, this month to the victims of the hurricane in Puerto Rico. just to help them out. But it's all, look, bro, helping other people is selfish in a way, right? You help it, but you feel good about helping them. Like we do food. That's why every year, me and my team, we do the breast cancer walk. We do food drives. We've done clothing drives. And yeah, it's good to help people, but it makes you feel better. It makes you feel good. I'm telling you, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. And one of the reasons I wake up every day, it's not because of the money. Like I don't spend a lot of money on stuff. I don't like things, or I'm not very materialistic. I don't want or have a car, right? Like everyone else is buying Lamborghinis and shit. I choose to take Uber and public transportation just because I like that better, right? I don't want to think about or worry about a car. What really motivates me is the transformations. We get tons of transformations, people, and that makes me feel better, man. I get high off that, right? So if you can start to put the focus on other people, particularly when you're depressed, you'll start to feel better about yourself. When I'm feeling down, I have a folder of just transformations. We line the walls in our office with transformations. Just because it makes me feel good helping people. So that's another thing you want to do. All right. Number 3, you should talk to someone. Honestly, when my father killed himself, you can imagine that that was a difficult time for me, and I talked to him. I went and saw a psychiatrist, right? And it helped. It definitely helped, just being able to talk and get your feelings out, especially like as men. Like we don't want to talk, we don't want to come across as weak, so we just bottle that in, and that's what my father did. I know he did, and it just manifested itself one day. When you see people who seem like everything's cool, and then when they just kill themselves, that's because especially men, because they're bottling it up, they're bottling it up, and there's no warning signs, and it just seems like it came out of nowhere because they're putting on a facade for us. That's what my father did, and that's what a lot of people who commit suicide do. And like, no one would ever know that I've dealt with depression like multiple times in my life, because I'm a professional. I still show up for work. I show up for my employees. I show up for my customers. But sometimes inside, like I'm sad about something, right? And if you have someone to talk to, it can help you. Just like getting it out, or maybe talking. What I notice is talking about the problem actually helps you solve it a little bit, right? And then you can bounce things off other people, and maybe they'll have some insight that you didn't have, or they make you see things from a different perspective. Because when you're going through the storm, it looks a lot different than when someone's watching the storm. You understand? They might have a perspective that you might be missing because you're just inside of the chaos, and you can't see a way out. But they might be able to look from the outside and see a way out for you, see a path to victory. Shit, man, you can talk to me. Send me a Snapchat, man. Killer Carter 187. I answer majority of my snaps. At least I try to. And there's been a lot of kids, man. Like, this is what made me make this video. I get a lot of kids talking to me about depression, man. A lot of or people who they say want to commit suicide, and I've been told by them that I can never know for sure that I talked them out of suicide, right? Or that I helped them somewhere. Talk to me, man. But talk to someone, right? If you can't see a professional, I heard there's apps or a psychiatrist. I don't know, man. Figure it out. But talk to somebody, man, who cares. Preferably somebody who's trained to help you, like not me, right? But I'm here too, bro. I'm here too, bro. And then number 4 is actually take care of your health, right? Exercise in general will actually help your mood. Like I've been a personal trainer for 16 years now, and I've seen people come in depressed or sad, and then they start exercising. What happens is it releases endorphins and just getting your body movement. Motion creates emotion. So when you start feeling different and acting different and holding yourself different and moving different, you start to feel different, man. When you start to move different, you feel different, right? That's one of the reasons I have a standing desk. Like I work at this desk. This is a desk. I'm looking at a computer, and I actually stand all day, every day, just because I feel like I have more energy. I'm lighter. Motion creates emotion, right? Smile more, laugh more, actually force it. When you force it, something happens inside. There's studies that show that when you smile, when you hold yourself up, you start to feel different, right? There's a great video somewhere here on YouTube about somebody put the link in the comment, or maybe I'll put the link below. And there was they did a study where they had people had depressed stance or sad, and they had some people stand confident like superheroes, and they did it for 2 minutes a day, and the people who stood confidently, their actually testosterone went up, right? And then there's other studies that show that it increases dopamine, serotonin. These are the drugs in your brain. I mean, the chemicals in your brain that actually like help you become happy. You know, so like this is like exercise. You focus on your movement. Focus on like your overall health. Like when you're tired, that's the easiest way to get like it's linked to depression. Because think about it, how you're holding yourself when you're tired. How you you know, you're not going to have that upbeat. You want to. It takes energy to be happy. You don't need energy to be sad, right? So also look at the food you're eating. Your food you're eating. You know, ever since I feel better with my diet because it gives me energy, right? But when you eat a bunch of like sugar and heavy foods and stuff like that, it actually spikes your insulin levels, and that insulin spike makes you sleepy. That's why you get the itis or food coma after you eat certain foods. So that can have an effect. And then like drugs, man, just drugs. Like, look, there's drugs that are, you pay a price, man. Like I've done ecstasy before, right? And it's euphoric during the time, but then the day after, you don't feel so great, right? And the reason is because it's a surge of dopamine and serotonin, and then your brain is like spent. All the serotonin and dopamine is gone, so you actually like have to pay for it the next day. It's like that with like Molly and drugs like that, and weed to a certain extent, marijuana to a certain extent. I'm not telling you, but hey, listen, some people can handle it. Me, I can't. Like if I start smoking a lot, then I feel weird when I don't smoke. So I just quit. I just quit smoking altogether, and my happiness is just more level. But that's me. I'm not. Listen, I know you potheads are spazzes. You say something bad about weed, you're gonna be a million comments, right? You would think that potheads would be more calm. But listen, if you can handle it, it's cool. I have friends and family members who smoke every day and everything, and it's cool. You wouldn't even know it. They're fine. They're functional members of society. I'm just saying that there is a certain segment of the population, me included, who it affects negatively, and it might be you if you're going through something. It might be you. It might not, though, right? Potheads, please don't come after me. Potheads, I love y'all just the same. I'm just here to help. And another thing is meditation. Meditation, man. I meditate at least once a day. I try to do twice for 10 to 15 minutes. And what that does is I do a type of meditation called Vipassana. And what that does is it trains you to focus better. Right? It's like exercise for your mind, actually. And there's studies that show it improves mood and everything. But I'm going to tell you exactly how it works. Once your food, shelter, and your biological needs are met, everything else is kind of mental, right? And you can affect that by how you focus, what you focus on. All right. So if you got to learn to focus more on the things you want to see more. Okay, it doesn't take away your problems, but it helps you see the good things as well. Because sometimes when there's a problem, all you see is problems. Kind of like when you get a new car, or somebody gets a new car, you start seeing that car everywhere, right? It's like, damn, it's called the reticular activation system, or your RAS, right? We can't pay attention to everything at a time, so your mind kind of chooses what to pay attention to, but you don't want to let it do it haphazardly. You want to control that. So basically, you see this car everywhere. It's like that with your problems. You have a problem, now you start seeing more problems. You see how that problem is affecting you, and that's all you see, right? But meditation helps you like get control of your mind, okay? And then you can start deliberately saying what you want to see. Hey, I want to see solutions. Start looking for solutions. Start looking for things to be happy about. Start looking for things to be grateful for. Start, things like that. And then the problems won't go away. You still have problems, but that's not the point. The problem is the point is to see ways out of your problem. All right. The point is to see options, right? See options. My dad didn't see other options. He thought that was the only way, because he didn't meditate. He definitely wasn't taking care of his health. He didn't talk to anybody about it. And he didn't have any like big goals at the time, right? He had some things he wanted to accomplish. That's kind of what got him in trouble. But like when you can start controlling where you put your focus, I want you to become more solution oriented, right? It's more solution oriented. Your problems are real, and I'm not trying to deny that they exist, but there is a way around them. There's always a way. Somebody in your position or worse has gotten through what you're going through, and you gotta like train your mind to find the solutions. All right. So to recap, set big goals and start going after them. That's going to help build confidence and just give you something to look forward to. Okay, start training, start working out. Work if you're not already. Training and working out, it has a host of benefits that will actually like boost the chemicals in your brain, right? Talk to someone. All right, talk to someone. It can really be helpful. I found it helpful. Okay, make sure you get sleep and taking care of your health. Because a lot of times it's like a chemical imbalance. And like if you don't have dopamine, if you don't have serotonin, you won't be happy. And maybe even see a doctor about it. Like, don't start taking drugs and stuff, but like see what's going on. And then in meditation, man, so you help control your focus and control your mind. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. I know a lot of people are going through things like this, and a lot of people are. I left one out. Help other people, right? That gets you focus, right? And it also gives you contrast, because odds are there's people out here who are doing a lot worse than you are. Like, so that contrast will make it seem like what you're going through is not so bad. You understand what I'm saying? And it'll make you more grateful for what you do have. All right, so I hope that helps. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, share this video with your friends or family, or maybe someone who's like going through something, because we're all going through stuff, man. And I don't know if we all go through like depression, but I think we do, varying degrees. Like some people, like, there's somebody's in a hotel room with a gun, like my dad, and some people are just sad, right? And it doesn't have to be that way. We all have problems. It's just these are ways to cope with them and get past them, because they always go away. They always pass, man. Like, it may not seem like it, but things pass, or they don't, right? Like, people die. People get sick and die. But you still got to deal with it, right? And it gets better. It gets better. When my father killed himself, it was bad, man. But like, it's better now, right? My life is better now. I've gotten through that. It's not something you ever like get over, but you will find a way to work through it, man. Anyway, hope that stuff helps, guys. Peace.